OpenAI has announced that they have won they achieved the long-standing grand challenge in AI, gold medal level performance on the world's most prestigious math competition, the International Math Olympiad. That's the IMO. So this went up at 12:50 a.m. on July 19th.
Typical timeline for
Yes.
announcements.
So this is basically like Friday night, Saturday morning. You're looking at basically 1 a.m. from Alexander Way. And he shares a picture of a strawberry with a medal with the OpenAI logo on it. Someone also tested, they took this picture, they uploaded it to ChatGPT. What's the fruit in the image? How many R's are in that fruit? And it nailed it. So we are truly AGI has arrived. And Dylan chimes in on the OpenAI news. He says, congrats 2025 IMO winners and participants, including OpenAI, who trained a general purpose reinforcement learning model and achieved IMO Gold. OpenAI team includes these two folks, Cheryl and Polynomial Gnome. Fun fact, Polynomial also won the 2025 Diplomacy World Championship as a human. And so people are saying AGI is right around the corner. AJ from Semi-Analysis says, what stands out to me, scaling RL on non-verifiable rewards, likely via rubrics and LLM as judge, thinking and reasoning for several hours at a time for a highly specific task. This is what the $20,000 per month model will look like. And so there were a bunch of interesting things about this. Apparently, there are a few different ways to tackle IMO level math problems. One is using this program called Lean that is a formal math proof verifier. And there's rumors that Google's building their system to leverage that a lot. OpenAI apparently went way down just the text-based LLM reasoning path and had a lot of success there. So even though, as we'll get into in this story, it feels like it's neck and neck, maybe Google was earlier and they just didn't release it faster, and maybe this is a comms thing. There's a whole bunch of different stuff going back and forth. But potentially the more interesting thing is, did they take different technical approaches and get similar results? If they're neck and neck, which one will scale better? Which one will generalize better? There's a whole bunch of different discussions there. Do you want to get into some of the controversy or the pushback? Do you have a post pulled up from someone saying about Google's attempt?
Yeah, I mean the whole thing came down to timing. Dennis over at DeepMind was pushing back a little bit, which I can pull up.
Demis Hassabis from DeepMind, the co-founder, and now at Google. It was interesting because we immediately jumped to Polymarket because this whole idea of an AI system beating the IMO, we talked about this with Scott Wu from Cognition months ago, back in April. I found the clip, and he said, I would be very surprised if an AI system this year does not actually surpass the IMO. He, of course, is an IMO gold medalist himself, and so it was big to hear from him. Now, the Polymarket had been sitting at like 20%, and I think we're going to get into like the minutia of like what it means to truly win, because the IMO, like the group that actually puts on the competition has a different set of rules. They put the questions out, and anyone can go and try and do them. But to actually be awarded a goal for an AI, they said it has to be an open source model potentially. It has to be released in this particular way, and so OpenAI might have used their systems to solve the questions, which is super impressive, but they might not have checked every box to actually technically win the gold from the actual organization. And so Noam says today...
and Demis, to be clear, so he put out a post this morning saying official results are in. Gemini achieved gold medal level in the International Mathematical
Which
Olympiad.
is different than actually getting a gold medal. Right?
He said an advanced version was able to solve 5 out of 6 problems. Incredible progress. And there's a quote in here from the IMO president. He said, we can confirm that Google DeepMind has reached the much desired milestone, earning 35 out of a possible 42 points. A gold medal scored. Their solutions were astonishing in many respects. IMO graders found them to be clear, precise, and most of them easy to follow. You can imagine one is just like off on this insane tangent.
There were some fascinating details around how they solved them.
Demis shared, he said, by the way, as an aside, we didn't announce on Friday because we respected the IMO board's original request that all AI labs share their results only after the official results had been verified by independent experts and the students had rightly received the acclamation they deserved. And so you can imagine somebody was saying, I don't know how real this was. Somebody was saying that they were making a claim that like Google needed time to like have the comms team to sign off. But it seems more likely that the original plan was, hey, let's wait and announce this when the IMO board actually comes out.
The analogy feels like you're a super fast sprinter. You go to the Olympics and you run a 100-meter dash that's incredibly fast in the parking lot. Like you're not in the stadium, but everyone's like, wow, that guy's fast.
He's hauling.
He's hauling. It's very impressive, but
definitely
you still don't.
Potentially the fastest man on earth.
And ideally you paid for the parking pass to get into the stadium, and it's like maybe Google and OpenAI were both running 100-meter dashes in the parking lot. One of them had paid for like enough parking spaces to make it completely clean. OpenAI was just kind of showing up with a buddy and being like, I'm sprinting. that's the vibe I'm getting. But they're both in the parking lot. Like neither of them are in the actual stadium at this point. But who knows? They might be soon. There's some questions about do they have to open source or whatever. So Noam Brown says, we achieved a milestone that many considered years away, gold level performance. Gold medal, of course, he's saying gold medal level performance. Like that's very critical. It's not we got a gold medal, it's that we exhibited gold medal level performance. Typically for these AI results, like in Go, Dota, poker, diplomacy, researchers spend years making an AI that masters one narrow domain and does little else. But this isn't an IMO specific model. It's a reasoning LLM that incorporates new experimental general purpose techniques, which would be very exciting because you could apply an IMO level.
John, hold up that stack of posts for the audience.
Oh, we got 150 posts today. It's going to be a quick stream, people. It's going to be a quick stream, but buckle up. So what's different? We developed a new technique that makes LLMs a lot better at hard to verify tasks. IMO problems were the perfect challenge for this. Proofs are pages long and take experts hours to grade. Compare that to AIME, which is another math exam, where answers are simply an integer from 0 to 999. So you can verify them really, really quickly. Also, this model thinks for a long time. O1 thought for seconds, deep research for a minute. This one thinks for hours. Importantly, it's also more efficient with its thinking, and there's a lot more room to push the test time, compute, and efficiency further. Now, what's interesting is like these. I think these questions go up, and then you have like I think the students get like 2 4.5-hour segments. So there's a world where like the AIs can do it, but just not as fast as humans, which would be very interesting. I don't exactly know how close they are. So Noam says, where does this go? As fast as recent AI progress has been, I fully expect the trend to continue. Importantly, I think we're close to AI substantially contributing to scientific discovery. There's a big difference between AI slightly below top human performance versus slightly above. This was a small team effort. He took a research
now
idea.
the discovery that AI is doing is talking with somebody who is potentially schizophrenic and convincing them that they've figured out how to move faster than the speed of light.
Yeah. So there's so many accounts of that. It's getting crazy. I posted ChatGPT agent, go win me an IMO gold medal and then update my resume.
Don't make mistakes.
But have you actually looked at any of the IMO questions ever?
No.
I don't even know where to start. Like it's all stuff that
it's one call away for us though. We just text Scott.
Yeah. Tyler, have you ever looked at IMO questions?
No, but I'm looking at them right now. It's like pretty brutal.
Would you know where to start?
Tyler, if you can get 2 out of 6 right before the end of the stream, we'll buy you a house.
Well, that's the thing. He's just going to be able to ask ChatGPT now. And we
One shot
know.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
no
to
tool use.
No tool use. Got to qualify that.
Nick has the comment about DeepMind. DeepMind has also
Tyler has another challenge today.
He does. We will introduce that in just a few minutes. DeepMind has also won IMO Gold, but they haven't announced it yet. By the way, confirmed. Congratulations, beat us.
They
to
did
the
this morning.
They did. Yeah, they confirmed it this morning.
And so it's been interesting to see the reaction to this.
Yep.
Gary Marcus is on X saying all the tech bros this morning thinking that AGI has been achieved because some parentheses insanely expensive new form of LLMs can now match top high school students on one specific task. It's almost cute. So really just ripping into the entire AI community. But Will Depew comes in and says he's on leave right
Yes.
now, taking a little summer holiday.
Yes.
He says, guys, stop using expensive as a disqualifier. Capability per dollar will drop 100x a year. The 3K task Arc AGI 80% could probably be $30 if we cared to optimize it. Repeat after me. All that matters is top-line intelligence. All that matters is top-line intelligence. So, yeah, again, everybody's focused on sort of raw capabilities, not super focused on efficiency, especially for projects like this where they're not necessarily, rolling this out in mass.
Yeah. And you know where a lot of these IMO gold medalists go to work?
I do, John.
Ramp.com. Time is money. Save both. Easy to use corporate cards, bill payments, accounting, and a whole lot more all in one place. Ramp is amazing. So the timeline was in turmoil over the Gary Marcus post, and they went back and forth, and he finally admitted it at the end. He said, that's impressive. So it started with a post by Daniel Litt. He says, huge congrats to OpenAI for their IMO gold. I don't find it too surprising that an AI tool was able to achieve this. See below, though I'd sort of lost hope the last few days. But I'm pretty surprised it was an LRM with no tool use. So it didn't have Python. It didn't have web search. It didn't have all the things that you could imagine would kind of allow you to speed things up or kind of be a shortcut that would put it in a different category. There was always a question about with the when the AIs were playing video games, like computers have wall hacks. Like they can sometimes see the map without the fog of war. They can see, it's very different to get perfect data on where every character is on the map and be able to make decisions based on that, as opposed to looking at pixels and having to move the screen over there to see if you're being invaded on the left flank, right? And so there was always this yes, if you gave a computer the raw access, that's not quite, it's impressive, but it's not quite a level playing field. And it's basically the same thing as being well, the other folks don't get a calculator and you get a calculator. Is it that impressive? But this was very much an even playing field, it seems like. So Mel Gibson 2.0, great name, says you are not surprised that they have figured out a way to make the model learn in very hard to verify domains in a fuzzier reward space. It also appears that the same reasoning model was the one used in the AT coder competition, showing that it can generalize across domains. Daniel comes back and says, I don't think we really know what they figured out yet. I'll keep my powder dry until we know more. Mel Gibson says, go read Noam Brown's thread on the model if you haven't already. He says, and remember, Noam Brown says, this isn't an IMO specific model. And that's a very important thing because there's a ton of situations where you can go and RL on a specific task and it gets really, really good at it, but then you try and get it to do anything else and it's not that great. Yeah. And so Daniel Litt says, I read it. Gary Marcus chimes in from the rafters as he's not in this chat yet, but he has entered the chat. He says, I read it too. That's pretty vague. Are we sure that no tools were called? Gary Marcus then chimes in again, says IMO gold, does no tools mean no use of Python, code interpreter, etc.? Daniel Litt says, that's how I understand it. And then Gary Marcus tags in Polynomial, Noam Brown, and also Alex Way and says, can you confirm that the IMO gold was achieved without using Python or code interpreter or similar? And then Gary Marcus says, humans don't use external tools in the IMO competition. I'm just trying to understand what the system is. That's how we do science. Daniel Litt, and at some point, whoever was trying to dunk on Gary Marcus just deleted their account. So it just says, this post is from an account that no longer exists. Daniel Litt shows Cheryl on the OpenAI team saying the model solves these problems without tools like Lean, which is a math verifier, or coding. It just uses natural language. It also only has 4.5 hours to answer our earlier question. We see the model reason at a very high level, trying out different strategies, making observations from examples, and testing hypotheses. And Gary Marcus says, that's impressive. So, Gary Marcus, you got to fill out the apology form, bro. You got to fill out the deep reinforcement learning apology form. What was the reason for your behavior? No one told me Alex Way was training the model.
Mercury was in retrograde.
Mercury, I don't know ML. And then one of them is Gary Marcus convinced me it was fake because Gary Marcus was famously said deep learning is hitting a wall. Like this particular paradigm will not scale. You have to do symbol manipulation, which was like kind of his bet, encode different relationships between ideas in the model. There were a bunch of different debates over there, and he's gone back and forth on that. He's not as much of like a deep reinforcement learning hater as some people think. But that's his brand at this point. So anyway, more on the drama between DeepMind and OpenAI. DeepMind got a gold medal at the IMO on Friday afternoon, but they had to wait for marketing to approve the tweet until Monday. OpenAI shared theirs first at 1 a.m. on Saturday and stole the spotlight. In this game, speed is greater than bureaucracy. Miss the moment, lose the narrative. So that's one interesting take.
Not sure that's true.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. I mean, certainly culturally, OpenAI loves to release information before Google. Whatever Google's like next big
and they're
IO
playing to win.
thing.
Remember after what did they release after the DeepSeek moment?
Deep research. And then
so if you're typing deep and you were looking for an AI product.
And then Google had IO. And then
OpenAI
IO. This is like the day before
with Johnny Ive.
With Johnny Ive. So anyway, you'll love to see it. All's fair in love and war, I guess. I don't think this crosses any lines.
Warfare.
Yeah.
Violence.
And this is the benefit of having a bunch of posters on your team, I guess. Noam Brown says it takes us a few months to return the experimental research frontier into a product, but progress is so fast that a few months can mean a big difference in capabilities. And this is from July 18th. So all the models underperform humans on the new IMO questions, and Grok 4 is especially bad on it, even with best of N selection.
Somebody was accusing Grok 4 of training on the problem set.
For IMO?
No.
Oh, for something else? For the other benchmarks. I mean, benchmark hacking is like a thing that happens all over the place. That's why we need like hidden benchmarks. That's the whole thing of ArcAGI that we will talk about. We talked about Will Depew saying, guys, stop using expensive as a disqualifier. Terence Tao, one of the most goated mathematicians of all time, digs in a little bit and is adding his perspective as a world-renowned mathematician. He says, it is tempting to view the capability of current AI technology as a singular quantity. Either a given task X is within the ability of current tools or it is not. However, there is in fact a very wide spread in capability, several orders of magnitude, depending on what resources and assistance gives the tool and how one reports the results. One can illustrate this with a human metaphor. I will use the recently concluded IMO as an example. Here, the format is that each country fields a team of 6 human contestants who are high school students, led by a team leader, often a professional mathematician. Over the course of 2 days, each contestant is given 4.5 hours on each day to solve 3 difficult math problems, given only pen and paper. That is crazy. No communication between contestants or with the team leader during this period is permitted, although the contestants can ask the invigilators, for clarification. This is like some math term, I don't even know. For clarification on the wording of the problems, the team leader advocates for the students in front of the IMO jury during the grading process.
Invigilators are also known as exam proctors.
Okay, proctors. Okay. So, they can ask the people that are running the test, hey.
We got to start working Invigilator into.
For sure.
We should probably have a show.
We should hire some.
Like just an Invigilator too.
For sure.
We should have at least one on staff.
So the team leader advocates for the students, but is not involved in the IMO examination directly. The IMO is widely regarded as a highly selective measure of mathematical achievement for a high school student to be able to score well enough to achieve a medal, particularly a gold medal or a perfect score. This year, the threshold for gold was 35 out of 42, which corresponds to answering 5 of the 6 questions perfectly. Even answering one question perfectly merits an honorable.
Basically a B, gets you gold.
Yeah,
it's that hard.
They're that hard. But consider what happens to the difficulty of the Olympiad if we alter the format in various ways. First, one gives the students several days to complete each question rather than 4.5 hours for 3 scenarios. To stretch the metaphor somewhat, consider a sci-fi scenario in the student in which the student is still only given 4.5 hours, but the team leader places the students in some sort of expensive and energy-intensive time acceleration machine in which months or even years of time pass for the students during this exam. Before the exam,
Ben might have put us in one of these
Yeah.
because we go live and then it's 4 hours later.
yeah,
Like,
time acceleration.
like-
Yeah, it's wild. Before the exam starts, the team leader rewrites the questions in a format the students find easier to work with. 3, the team leader gives the students unlimited access to calculators, computer algebra packages, formal proof assistants, textbooks, or the ability to search the internet. Sounds like that didn't happen. The team leader has the 6-student team work on the same problem simultaneously, communicating with each other on their partial progress and reported dead ends. The team leader gives the students prompts in the direction of favorable approaches and intervenes if one of the students is spending too much time on a direction they know to be unlikely to succeed. Next, each of the 6 students on the team submit solutions, but the team leader selects only the best solution to submit to the competition, discarding the rest. Last, if none of the students on the team obtain a satisfactory solution, the team leader does not submit any solution at all and silently withdraws from the competition without their participation ever being noted. Oh, so that could have happened. It didn't in this case, but in each of these formats, the submitted solutions are still technically generated by the high school contestants.
Going back to the parking lot example,
Yeah.
it's like if you can go run the race in the parking lot. And then if you don't run as fast as you hoped,
Yeah.
it's like, well, I wasn't in the I
I
wasn't even in
wasn't
the race.
racing. I was just going for a jog.
I was just warming up. I like to be
Just stretching
surrounded
my
by
leg.
excellence.
Yeah, don't worry. That is the true one, because if they'd missed, they'd probably be like, what? The IMO is this weekend? We're working on agents. Like, what are you talking about? Like, have you seen our DAUs? Like, get out of here. To each of these formats, the submitted solutions are still technically generated by the high school contestants rather than the team leader. However, the reported success rate of the students in the competition can be dramatically affected by such changes in format. A student or team of students who might not even reach bronze medal performance in the normal competition under standard test conditions might instead reach gold medal performance under some of the modified formats indicated above. So in the absence of controlled test methodology that was not self-selected by the competing teams, one should be wary of making various apples to apples comparisons between the performance of various AI models on competitions such as the IMO or between such models and the human contestants. Yeah, the question is like, it seems like of those, not many were actually violated by the way OpenAI and Google attacked this. Like,
well, this was before. I mean, this was an immediate reaction before I think there was
more details
same
came
amount
out.
of details,
Yeah.
that we've been covering.
This was 3 p.m. on Saturday, but 3 p.m. later.
Well, Rune has a good post.
This is a great
he
one.
says, my bar for AGI is an AI that can learn to run a gas station for a year without a team of scientists collecting the gas station data set. It's a great post.
The world isn't ready
It's
for
like,
gas station
we
bench.
can we can run an AI as long as we can run a gas station as long as we have a perfect data set
And that's like the way
on how gas
these
stations
things
operate.
Yeah, as soon as we place the goals somewhere, we nail that goal, and then we have to move the goalpost. Shows.
This is so
this is a great graphic.
Great picture.
by
So Thomas
Tenebris.
Wolf says, my bar for AGI is an AI winning a Nobel Prize for a new theory it originated. It's just an image of a team moving the goalpost.
I
here.
do like how consistent Tyler Cowen is on AGI. He's like, my bar was the Turing test. We passed that, so I have to call it like it is.
Yeah,
And I'm not moving the goalpost.
I think he's
Notorious
going to look
goalpost
very smart for
maintainer.
that. In
Yeah.
the fullness of time.
I mean, I think it's okay to be like, yeah, we achieved AGI.
It's just
It
tough when
wasn't
you
that big of a
achieve
deal.
something
Now there's something
and
new,
it's cool, but not immediately
dramatically
massively
impactful.
transformative.
But you
It's like
have
we
to
got a better
imagine that
Google.
there was the same thing when people were like human flight, and then the Wright brothers go and do it, and people are like, great, so like I can hop on a Southwest flight in an hour to go to San Francisco from LA, and they're like, what are you talking about? Like LA is like, a couple trains and like some people, with orange groves. And it's like, it takes a long time for the infrastructure to get built out. Like now a lot of these AI tools, they do build on top of the internet and on top of technology that we have rolled out. But like at a certain point, like the UI matters, the economics of these different tools matters. You can't. It might not be economical for a company to release an AI tool that costs $20,000 to inference just to get you the weather or do 2 + 2. And so all of these things take time to roll out, and that's why we're kind of in this like slow takeoff scenario. It feels like, I don't know.